On to some nostalgia with what happened on my universe mode. You damn right, it's Nitro. We've got the fireworks out. We've got a massive main event featuring Kevin Nash and Kurt Angle, and we were in Prague, the capital of the Czech Republic. And the Czech crowd got a treat as we opened the show with the People's Champion, The Rock. And he had a microphone in hand, which he opened up the show to say that he was in a bad mood, and someone had put him that way. He then called out Chris Jericho to come down and apologise for the things he'd been saying. And of course Chris Jericho did come out, and he looked like he was in a good mood, and he was kind of taking the piss a little, and he started off by playing up to the crowd, but then saying that him and The Rock have some business to settle, and The Rock agreed. So he said, let's get down to business. Chris Jericho called The Rock a sycophant, and The Rock responded by saying he was going to show him the difference between being big with your words and being big with your fists. The Rock stated he could beat Jericho anytime he wanted, and Jericho said he didn't want to wait for a fight. The Rock slammed the mic out his hand though, and said that this wouldn't be over until one of them was out for the count, and it wasn't going to be him. And that was that from The Rock. He left the ring, raised his arm high, and left Chris Jericho having to think about what was said. On to our first match of the evening now, which saw the Ultimate Warrior. He was going to take on his former partner, but Sting didn't want to wait for the Warrior's entrance to finish, and he attacked him from behind. Sting obviously had the advantage at the beginning, and he made sure of that with a DDT, but when he went for 10 punches in the corner, the Ultimate Warrior was able to reverse it after about 5 or something, and threw Sting off him. The Warrior had control. He hit a couple of running shoulder tackles, then nailed Sting with a fall-away slam and a gorilla press slam. But after that, he went for a punch and Sting batted his fist away. And after another DDT, Sting hit his other DDT, the Scorpion Death Drop, and went for the pin. And surprisingly, the Ultimate Warrior didn't kick out, leaving Sting victorious. We had a return to Nitro next, although technically it was main event when he was last on it, Rey Mysterio, and he was taking on Lex Luger in a one-on-one contest. Mysterio's return didn't start well though, as he got attacked from behind by Lex Luger, who then hit him with a big butterfly suplex and a shoulder barge, but Mysterio did eventually get a reversal and hit Luger with a DDT and a Deja Vu DDT. And Mysterio wasn't done. He nailed a Code Red, sent Lex Luger to the outside with a Sunset Flip Powerbomb, and then hit a massive splash off the top rope to the outside. Mysterio then took a moment to appreciate the crowd, but Lex Luger took advantage of that, hitting him with a clothesline and a running forearm. His signature, he went for the pin, but Mysterio kicked out at 2, and Mysterio was able to reverse his next move after that and nail him with a massive Hurricane Rana, which he went for a pin as well with. And Lex Luger managed to kick out at 2 with that one. Lex Luger wasn't going to be able to escape what happened next though, as he fell into the second rope, got hit with a 619, and Rey Mysterio then went to the top rope and nailed a Dragon Rana, which we don't see very often, and Mysterio got the pin with that one. 1, 2, 3, he'd beat Lex Luger, and is Mysterio back for good. Tag team action now, as Jake Roberts and Rick Rude were giving it another go after their loss to the Hardy Boys last week. They were going again against another legendary tag team, the Hart Foundation, Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. The match began with Bret Hart in the driving seat, hitting Jake Roberts with an inverted atomic drop, but Jake Roberts was able to gain control straight away after, blocking Bret Hart's next move and hitting him with a big headbutt and a bulldog. We got some double teamness after that, and Rick Rude sent Bret Hart into the corner and whacked him with a forearm to the face. The Hitman was ready though, and he managed to reverse out with an arm drag and hit a backbreaker before sending Jim Neidhart into Rude with some double teamness. The Anvil then showed off his power with a back body drop, a big gorilla press slam and a suplex where he doesn't fall down with him. He then got reversed though. Rick Rude elbowed him in the face, punched him in the face, and then hit him with a big back suplex. Rude tagged in Roberts, who nailed Neidhart with a double axe handle. He went for a splash in the corner, but Neidhart reversed and hit him with a full forward slam. We then got some more double teamness when he tagged back into the European champion Bret Hart. Bret Hart hit a backbreaker, hit a massive pile driver, and then locked in the sharpshooter. Jake the Snake tried to slither out, but it wasn't happening, and eventually he had to give up and tap out, and the Hart Foundation were victorious. But that wasn't the end of things. For some reason, Jim Neidhart wasn't happy with that, and he must have felt that Bret Hart was hogging all the glory. The two shoved each other a little, and then Neidhart walked off while Bret Hart continued celebrating. he doesn't need to worry about it. He's still European champion, don't you know? Speaking of champions, the WWE champion, The Undertaker, had a massive match as he was taking on Goldberg. Starting this one in front was The Undertaker, who hit a massive slam on Goldberg and then put a knee to the back of his head, but Goldberg bumped into him after that and then smashed him with a massive power slam. Goldberg's offense continued with a clothesline, a judo throw and snake eyes on the top rope, but The Undertaker dodged his next move and instead grabbed him by the throat and slammed him down with a giant choke slam. The Undertaker hit a back body drop and then went for a punch, but Goldberg dodged again. He punched him in the face, got the advantage back and nailed The Undertaker with a pump handle suplex and a spear. He lifted up The Undertaker for the jackhammer, but The Undertaker was able to counter, kneed him in the head a couple of times, punched him down, and then got him up for a tombstone piledriver, which he hit, went for the pin, and Goldberg was down for the count. Following the match, the man who attacked The Undertaker last week, Ted DiBiase, appeared on the ramp, and The Undertaker wasn't going to wait for a pay-per-view to meet him. He walked straight up the ramp and the two started knocking shades of shit out of each other. The pair had to be separated by referees, but they weren't going to stop the fight as Ted DiBiase managed to wriggle free and get more hits on the Taker. We'll leave that there and move on to our Nitro main event. It's a rematch from last Nitro as Kurt Angle takes on one half of the World Tag Team Champions, Kevin Nash. The match began with a brawl between the two, which Kurt Angle quickly got the advantage of and sent Kevin Nash packing to the outside. Kevin Nash, he didn't seem like he wanted to carry on with the match and tried to walk away, but he was stopped in his tracks by Kurt Angle's son, Jason Jordan, who threw Kevin Nash back in the ring and evened the score after last week's escapades with Scott Hall. Kurt Angle then smashed Kevin Nash with a takedown and a flatliner. He hit a side Russian leg sweep and a chop block to take Kevin Nash down again and hit a picture-perfect moonsault. But it wasn't all Kurt Angle, as Kevin Nash hit a takedown on the Olympic gold medalist. He hit a gorilla press slam and an Oklahoma Stampede slam before putting on a rest hold to catch his breath. Unfortunately, Kurt Angle caught his breath first and reversed out. We got one more takedown from Kurt Angle before we locked in what some people call Suplex City, but this is Kurt Angle, so it's just 3 dirty German suplexes. And after that, there was only one move left to do. The Angle Slam, which he hit, went for the pin. Kevin Nash did not kick out, and Kurt Angle got his win back on the World Tag Team Champion, and now he's got a tag team partner too. That's it for this What Happened on My Universe mode. NXT next, like and subscribe.